Just have to put the binding on this sucker, and then my kitty throw quilt is all done. Can you say meow, meow, meow? Good morning, everybody. It's Stephen here for Bland Designs, and welcome to my weekly vlog for Monday, March the 16th, 2020, number 159. And I hope everybody has been keeping healthy, and you know what I mean. And, well, we'll talk a little bit more about it, but quite frankly, I'm sick and tired of this topic, and I'm sure you are as well. But anyways, let's just jump right into what I've been up to. So you can see behind me that I have the kitty quilt, as I call it now, done. May not be easy for you to see. I did show it to you last week, but it was just the top, but it now has a backing to it. There's my backing. And I have it all quilted. It took me about 20 hours to quilt the whole thing. I used my embroidery machine, as I have been doing lately, and I think it turned out pretty good. This is going to go to Peggy, who's the roommate to my mother at the nursing home, and as I said, but it may be a while before I get it there, and I'll explain why when we come to when I start talking about my mother and other things later on in the video. I also have the Dresden table runner. That's the black, gray, and white one that was all done in the embroidery machine, completely finished. And I have it upstairs on my dining room table right now, and I'm not bringing it down to show you because I showed it to you last week. And really, from your perspective, it's not going to look that much different. I just got the backing on it, and I got a binding on the edges, so it's finished off. I didn't have to do any more quilting on that because it was already very heavily embroidered, so basically you didn't have any space to put any quilting. So that's done. And today, after the vlog is over and I have it uploaded, I'm going to finish up the next banner that I'm making for my mother for her room. I think I mentioned some time ago that I have these banners that I make that are kind of seasonal, just to, and switch them out every so often, just to, you know, my mother's room is very tiny, and it just adds some color to her room and things like that. And I enjoy making them. So I will show those to you next week on the vlog, because the second one is just about done. And if all goes well today, it will be done. So that's what I've been up to. I've also been up to one other thing. This. Yes, I still have some crafting roots in me. And this is a junk journal. Now, I've been experimenting with this because my art journal ladies, next month when we have our monthly meeting, want to do a junk journal. So I suggested that we do a junk journal. We've done them in the past, but this one we might take advantage of my sewing skills, such as they are. So I did a little experiment with the cover. Now, this is actually fabric underneath all this bric-a-brac that's on here. And one of the ladies in my art journaling class was able to get a hold of a whole bunch of upholstery fabrics, samples basically. You know, the kind of thing when you go into an upholstery place and you look through their sample books. Well, these are ones that are now discontinued or out of date or whatever, and she brought them in to us. So I took quite a few of them actually, and I thought, what could I do? How could I make a cover for a book? Now, I'm not finished with this yet. So I'm just showing you this as a work in progress. But what I did basically was I took a piece of cardstock and I covered it with the fabric, cut it down, cut enough that I could put it around the edges. Inside, you'll see this is what the inside looks like. So I've got like end papers over top of that, and I stitched it. And it was really easy. I used a little bit of double-sided tape to, you know, fold the edges of the cloth of the fabric over top of the 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock, and then I took it to my sewing machine and I just did a very simple straight stitch right on the inside. You can't see the stitches because they're covered up right now, all the way around, and that held it there. I then put some end papers, which are just scrapbook papers, on the inside to cover up those raw edges. And then I took my sewing machine and I just stitched straight lines across it. in white thread. It just blended in with it. Now, this is not the color of the fabric. In fact, what I did was I turned the fabric wrong side out, because this, if you look at it closely, there are some chevron looking things on here. Maybe you can see it better on the back. Those red chevrons that are going up and down are actually on the back side, which would be the front side of the fabric, and they're in red. And I thought, because we want to decorate the cover, that we didn't want something quite that bold. So I just used the reverse side because they peek out through it. And then I just went over this with various mediums, inks, some stencil work, some rubber stamp work. And you know me, I just can't stop once I get started. So I had a lot of these little jewelry pieces, costume jewelry pieces and things. And I thought, well, let's just stick them on the cover. So yes, it's kind of pretty in real life. It's a little different. And yeah, after all, this is a junk journal, so anything goes. The pages inside are actually scrapbook pages that I printed out. I haven't done anything to them, except I printed them out double-sided. They were actually a freebie from Stampington & Company, which is one of the magazines I subscribe to, and I've talked about it before. And they had a little freebie for subscribers. You could download these papers and do with them what you wish. They're artist papers. So I printed them out on cardstock on both sides, folded them in half, trimmed them down a little bit so they'd fit inside this cover so they wouldn't be hanging out, and I sewed them into the seam. And so basically my thought is that when we do this in class, I'm going to take my smaller sewing machine, my travel sewing machine, and I will already have made up covers for them, just the basics. I already put the fabric on them and sew them. Some of the ladies sew, some of the ladies don't sew, and I just figured, you know, we don't want to spend all of our time just simply sewing down fabric. They'll want to get to the decorating and everything of their junk journals. So, and they can put inside it whatever they want. I've suggested saving your junk mail, because you can do that, and I've done that in past as well. And away we go. Now, I did buy, in the dollar store, I found these little rainbowy elastic string. It's one big piece, actually. I just cut a chunk off, put a knot in it, and now it can go over as the holder. And you can put it whichever way you like, just as an enclosure. Now I might do something more with it. I might put some beads on it. I might attach it so that it's always attached to the journal in some way. I don't know. I may do some more decorating on the pages inside. I haven't done any yet. We'll see. But anyways, I think this will be fun, and the ladies will get a kick out of doing it, because it's all part of mixed media. And if you're wondering how these are heavy that are on here, but they're not coming off, and that's because I used, I stuck my tape runner to it. Okay. I used this Gorilla Contact Adhesive Clear Grip Permanent Bond. It's a little messy to work with, because it just kind of, when you take the cap off, it just sort of oozes out. So make sure you've got like a piece of wax paper or your silicone sheet or something to catch those drips so you can wipe them up afterwards. But it dries fairly quickly, at least for tacking down things. And it does say to leave it for about 24 hours for permanent hold. And it is a permanent hold, I can tell you that. These little suckers are not coming off of here. And because they're heavy, this little thing is kind of heavy, I thought, you know, I should use a glue like that. So anyways, that's just something I've been working on, a bit of an idea. I'm still working on the grimoire, and I have part 3 of that later on in the video. So, and I'm having lots of fun with that, especially with the cover. I don't think you'll see it in this part, but the part next week, you'll see how I did the cover, and I'm really proud of it. And that's all I'm going to say, just a little teaser for you. Okay, so that's what I've been up to. So, in my search for interesting YouTube channels, and I find them all the time, I came across this one called Creative on the Cheap. So some of the YouTube channels we've been looking at lately have to do with home decor. I thought you might be interested in this, because this lady really creates some very interesting things using cheapo stuff from the dollar store or thrift stores. This week's YouTube channel is called Creative on the Cheap. DIYs, decorating, budget-friendly home updates, hauls. This lady goes out to thrift stores, dollar stores, all that kinds of things, and tries to find things that are reasonably priced that can be changed into beautiful pieces of home decor. So if you're into doing home decor on your own and on a budget, this might be the spot for you to check out. But not only does she do home decor, but many of her home decor ideas could be changed into actual crafting projects as well. So there's a lot of inspiration on this particular YouTube channel. So if you want to check out something that you can do on the cheap, then check out Creative on the cheap. So that link and other links, as you know, are in the show notes below. We did do a Stephen and Walter Live this week, and the link is there. And yes, we did talk about the coronavirus. I mean, I know, how can you not talk about it? It is the talk right now. And there's so much information out there that's misleading and whatnot. So we talked about it from point of view as being, how's it affecting us? How's it affecting our upcoming river cruise? There's other people that were talking about the fact that they had vacations planned and things like that. The world is in a mess right now, and a lot of it has to do with a lack of knowing what's going to happen. So anyways, you know, you can check that out. We did talk about the sewing retreat as well and the fun we had there. So it's not all doom and gloom. There's some fun in there as well. So if you didn't catch us yesterday live, then the rebroadcast is there and you can catch that. Okay, let's turn our attention now to what's pissing me off this week. No, I don't have the COVID-19 virus, okay? It's spring starting, and I don't know if I have allergies or what, but I always this time of the year get a bit of a runny nose. Now Walter has been panicking because, this is a bit of an aside before I get to what's pissing me off, he's been developing a cold, but we were watching it carefully, taking our temperature. We have one of those temperature things you stick in your ear kind of a deal, and just to make sure that what he was getting was a cold, and we're pretty much sure it is a cold. But we're, you know, watching it, both of us actually. Funny thing is, his temperature has been slightly elevated, very slightly. Mine has been below normal. Go figure. Yeah, I'm as cold as ice. You know, in Fahrenheit terms, I'm supposed to be, what, 98.1? I'm 96.5, 97.1. But, you know, your temperature fluctuates, too. So it's nothing to panic about. I don't think there's anything to panic about if my temperature is below normal. I don't know what that means, but you know, whatever. But we're fine, and we're being cautious as well. And Walter was supposed to go to a class on Saturday. He decided not to go to the class, and his class on Monday night, tonight, which is the shirt making class, that's been put on postponement now because, well, part of it because Walter thought he may have picked up this cold from the person who's teaching the class, because he said that this person was sort of sniffling and everything, and this is someone we know, so we contacted him and said, you know, what our concerns were. And he's one of those people that does have a compromised immune system, so he has to be very cautious. So he thought it was best, in consultation with the store, to just postpone the classes for a little while until, you know, well, till when? That's the big question. When? And also talking about postponing things, now I've got to decide today. I know this is a first world problem, but do I have the cleaning lady come tomorrow or do I not? Yeah. Well, if Walter's still not feeling 100%, then I think I will cancel her. The thing that's bothering me about that is I canceled her. She canceled herself. We have her every other week. So the last round, she canceled herself because she does have migraine headaches. And because of the whatever was going on in our weather on that particular day, it was really affecting her bad. So we just said, fine, you know, rest up. And, you know, the next round, we'll do it then. Well, this is the next round. So that would mean that basically our house has not had a thorough cleaning if we cancel her for a month. Now, we can clean it ourselves. And we did for many years and in between. And we're not messy people. We tend to clean as we go anyway. So it's not the end of the world. But I really don't want my cleaning lady. She's got a small child at home. And well, she's got 3 children, but one's pretty much grown up, and I don't know if he lives with her or not, but the other 2 are younger. And the youngest one is, I think, in grade 1 maybe, or something like that. So, you know, we don't want her getting something from us, and whatever it is from us, whether it's a cold or worse, and spreading it to her children. So I think we probably will cancel her out. So anyways, yeah, how did I get on all that? Let's get to what's pissing me off. And of course it is related to the coronavirus. But what's pissing me off are people, stupid people who think that we're going to have a shortage of toilet paper or a shortage of, you know, other supplies like pasta, and Kleenex and paper towels. And you've all heard the stories of these idiots who are going in and buying them all up. And what's really pissed me off about that is this mob mentality. You know, they talk about people during a state of crisis rising above it and the good that comes out of people. I haven't seen that during this crisis. What I'm seeing is greedy, self-centered individuals. We do not have a shortage of paper products. No. There is not. The coronavirus has not affected the production of those products. The reason there isn't anything on the store shelves is because people went nuts and bought more than they absolutely need in a long time, and the stores have been able to restock their shelves. They have stuff coming in all the time. They have told us this. Hoarding food isn't a problem either because there's nothing affecting the food chain, the infrastructure that gets the food there. I've been watching a lot of stuff, all kinds of stuff. Well, you can't avoid it, really. Every time you turn on the TV, every time you go to YouTube or whatever, there is more information on all fronts about this virus thing. And these people are just being stupid. And how did it all get started? Well, I'm not sure. But there was a viral video on YouTube showing two women in an Australian grocery store pounding the crap out of each other over toilet paper. And then everybody suddenly got the idea. And what else pisses me off about this is it has affected us because we have lots of toilet paper. We buy our stuff at Costco. So, you know, in Costco, nothing comes in small quantities. So we just recently had bought toilet paper and we've got lots of it. But we were at Costco anyways, and we thought we'd check it out, and sure enough, no toilet paper to be had. No hand sanitizer. Well, you know, quite frankly, hand sanitizer is not a biggie on my list. I have this bottle that I bought for $2 at a dollar store, months ago. I actually bought it to clean up my craft space because it's great for getting ink and that off your silicone mats. I've got lots of it here. I wash my hands. I use soap. We have lots of soap. We have lots of water. I wash my hands all the time. The hand sanitizer is only good if you're someplace where you can't get it soap and water. And they say that actually hand sanitizer doesn't do a heck of a lot. Soap and water is the better thing to use. But of course, there's these idiots that went in and bought every bottle of hand sanitizer there is. And then there's the greedy, self-centered individuals who basically are buying up this stuff and trying to resell it on Kijiji, on eBay, things like that at exorbitant prices. And that's not right. That's just not right. But then again, the corporations have done it too, because when we went to Walmart the same day that we were at Costco looking at the toilet paper that did not exist, in Costco or in Walmart, it didn't exist either. There were 2 large packages of Royale, which is a brand we don't usually buy because it's usually expensive to start with. We like the Costco Kirkland brand because you get more on a roll and it's fine and it's a lot cheaper. Well, we saw the 2 of these things that at the end of it all, we bought them. Okay, we bought both of them. They wanted $23.50 Canadian for 1 package of Royale bathroom toilet paper that had, I think, only 15 double rolls, they call it, in a package. That is not how much that stuff costs usually. That's Walmart. Walmart's taking advantage of this too. And, you know, do they need to? Walmart already makes lots of money. They're not going away anytime soon. The coronavirus is not going to shut them down, no matter what. But there you go. There's greed at the corporate level. There's greed at the personal level. All over this. So what pisses me off is how something like this brings the animal out in people. And it reminds me of just how little time has passed since we came out of the trees. You know, we are essentially selfish, self-centered beasts, really. And this is not the time to be a beast, okay? We have to reach out and help those that are most in need, the lower income people. There's going to be a lot of people right now that they're saying work from home if you can. Yeah, that works for the middle class, basically. Essentially, people who have office jobs and things like that. What about the people who have the jobs that you just can't do them from home? You know, custodial staff, nurses, okay? Public servants, things like that. There's a lot of jobs that you can't work from home from. And some of those people are doing jobs that pay, you know, just barely minimum wage here in Canada. In the States, pay even less than what we consider minimum wage here in our country. They're going to go to work. And if they get a sniffle or a cough, or they suspect that they have the COVID-19 virus, they have a hard decision to make. Do they lose money? Do they not get a paycheck, but they stay at home? Or do they take the chance that they can still do their job? And you know, when it comes down to having to pay for your rent and your food for your kids, guess what? They're going to their job. In our country, our government has said, our federal government, that they're going to help people in that situation out. They've infused a lot of money into, you know, for service for this. I question it. It's good propaganda, but how did these people get this money, and when will they get this money? Because we all know anything the governments do, it's all bureaucracy and red tape. So these people are still, like, it's not like someone's going to be standing right on their doorstep on day one of when they don't go to work and say, here you go, here's a paycheck. No. And in the States and other countries in the world, that situation is probably even worse. Our country is set up to help people out in those kind of situations. That's our philosophy in this country. But that is not the philosophy in many countries of the world. And the United States, supposedly a first world country, I'm sorry, but their government does so little for their people. They really do. You want to talk about selfish? Yeah. They're the poster people for it, their government. And I feel sorry for those Americans. I really do. So anyways, what's pissing me off is that selfish brutality that's in all of us. And in a time of crisis, it can rear its ugly head. So my advice is this. Don't panic. There's plenty of toilet paper. They're still making it. They haven't shut down. Probably even making more of it right now. Food is going to be there, okay? Which is funny. Everybody was grabbing pasta and rice. Well, I guess those things don't need, they can sit on your shelf. They don't need refrigeration or to be frozen or something like that. Basically, they have a shelf life that'll last a long time. However, if it was a real crisis where suddenly we didn't have electricity, how are you going to cook your pasta? You're going to suck on it? What? The rice. Crunchy rice. Yum, yum, yum. So, use your logic in all of this. We will beat this disease. This is not the first time in human history that there has been a pandemic. We have people working on it. Yes, it's going to take time. But the professionals keep saying over and over again, wash your hands, don't touch your face, keep a safe distance from other human beings. Sneeze into your sleeve if you have to. We have to take responsibility for each other. We can't be selfish about it because that will be our downfall. It won't be the disease that really kills us. It's going to be our inhumanity to everybody else that's going to wipe us out. So the next time you're over in the store grabbing at toilet paper rolls, think about that. You know, it makes you wish that in this day and age we still had catalogs. Then you wouldn't have a run on it on toilet paper. You'd have lots of things in your house to wipe your bum with. Really. It's almost funny if it wasn't, isn't it? Okay, so enough about that today. Let's move on to some home decor ideas. On this week's DIY for your home, why not open up your own barista? Here you go. 3 different coffee makers. You can have espresso, latte, or just a regular cup of coffee any time of the day without the expense of going to a Starbucks or any other kind of coffee shop. And it adds that professional look to your kitchen. You too can impress your friends as a barista if you buy a whole lot of different coffee makers. Oh well, such is life. So there you go. If I have to be quarantined for 14 days, I won't run out of coffee. I can pretend I'm at Starbucks and making coffee for everybody else with all my own barista supplies. Right. Okay, so just before I move on to product reviews, just a couple of things that I didn't note in my show notes below. You'll find a link to my latest video for the Idiot Quilter, episode number 62, quilting on an embroidery machine, and that's where I take you with that quilt through the whole process, step by step. So if you're a quilter, if you have an embroidery machine, you might be interested in that. And of course, there's the link to the book of the week. And before we get to the book of the week, let's talk about what I bought. I bought fabric, but I bought Tim Holtz fabric. It wasn't on sale. It was an impulse buy, and I bought a lot of it. And you know my love with Tim Holtz. And there's one more. And I've got a lot of Tim Holtz fabric. Now, one reason I bought this was I was thinking when I was making that scrap journal, that junk journal, that I could use the Tim Holtz fabric for the cover. And I may still do that with some of it. But I just like Tim Holtz's fabric, and yeah, so I bought it. I was in that kind of mood. You know, sometimes you walk into a store for one thing and come out with lots of other things. Well, that's what I did with that. And that's the only thing new I bought this week. So let's go to Book of the Week. Since you may be staying home a lot, now you've got lots of time to make some journals. And I'm seeing little dust flakes flying, well, because the sun's streaming through, and maybe I do need to dust. I'm not sure. Handcrafted journals, albums, scrapbooks, and more. I've had this book for quite a while. It is a hardcover book. It's by Marie Browning, and she just shows you different ways of making. Let me see if I can open this here. She talks about different types of papers you can make your albums and things out of, the tools that you need and stuff like that. But she has very, very detailed instructions. Okay, I'm trying to find one with a picture here. She has very, very detailed instructions showing you how to construct a variety of different styles of journals and things. It's a very nice book to look through because the pictures are really nice. The instructions are fairly clearly written. It's bound on really nice paper. Oh, note to self in here. Change page dimensions to 3 by 12. Okay. That must have been, oh yeah, these were, I remember making these. I made some of these a long time ago. They're kind of cool. They're a little triangular folded album, and that's what it looks like when it opens up under my finger right here. So you see, it's got some very unique ideas. Now, can you still get this book? Yes, you can. But it's expensive. Okay, it's on Amazon.ca. Originally I paid, I don't know, because there is not a price. Oh yes, there is. Well, okay, I was going to say Amazon was very expensive, but actually when I bought this book, it was listed at $41.95 Canadian, $27.95 US. Wow, big change there. So you can get it on Amazon.ca for $42.42. And there's probably shipping because I don't believe this came on Prime. So yes, very expensive book. Again, look for a used version of it. But it is a good book. great ideas, and as I said, clearly explained, and some very unique styles of journals as well that you can make. All right, that takes us to works in process. So I have part 3 of my grimoire. So I have now put my background papers onto each of the pages in this album, so I'm going to show those to you. Now, what I did was, after I had these cut out, I went around them with a dark brown ink just to make them look vintage again, or a little bit more vintage. And I've just covered every one of the pages. Now, when I came to the pages that have a pocket in them, I simply took the piece that I had printed out and cut it so that I could put the bottom half of it, or bottom third of it, on the bottom part of the pocket and the top third above that. Now, I haven't done anything with the tags that came with this album yet. I'm going to wait until I start decorating pages to decide what I'll do with those. Some of the pages don't have tags. As you can see here, there's a pocket but no tag. And in the paper pack that I have, there are some tags in it that I think would go along with this very nicely. Or I may just do tags that have spells on them or something like that. So you can see, I think this paper series, this paper pad, works very well with this book. I did leave a little bit of a margin all the way around just to separate it out. This is another one of the tag pockets. There are also pockets in the side, which I haven't decided yet what to do with those, but I think I might put fairly large tag-like pages in these, and they'll have a tab on them, so the tab will hang out a little bit over the edge of the album. I think that might look kind of cool with that. So you can see I have it all done at this point. Now what we're going to come to is the decorating of the pages, and I'm not sure yet how I'm going to do that, but I have collected a variety of things that I think I can use in here, and I think there's enough space in here, if I'm careful, to put some 3D embellishments as well, and I think the book will still close okay. I'll have to experiment a little bit with that, but we'll see. And of course I haven't done the back or the front cover nor the spine yet. I'm saving those for later on. Probably when I get closer to the end of this album, that's when I will do these pages. So that's what we've done so far. So the next stage of this is to start actually developing some of the pages that will hold spells and things like that. So, events in the past week. Haven't done much. We've been actually staying close to home because of the whole COVID-19 virus thing. But update on my mother, she's quarantined. Yeah, not because she's sick. She's not sick. In fact, I don't think anybody in her nursing home is sick per se, beyond the usual. So COVID-19 virus, nobody has it in the nursing home, and they want to keep it that way. So we've had several emails from the nursing home administrator stating that they are not allowing visitors. The only visitors that can come to the nursing home are those, they call them essential visitors. And this is for people who basically are coming to visit a loved one who is basically dying. Okay, that's very sad to say, but that's what it is. But all other visitors, no, stay away. For how long? We don't know. This could be a while. So I tried to phone my mother, and you know how it works with the phone with my mother. She never picks up. But I tried anyways to call her. I did get her, finally. That was a surprise. And I said to Mom, did you know, Mom, that they... Well, she had heard something about this. So I filled her in. And she didn't sound particularly happy about it. But yeah, rightly so, I guess. But she's high risk, as they all are in the nursing home. And as I said to her, Mom, you're high risk. Someone could come in, we could come in, not know that we're carrying the virus, give it to you, and yeah. So I said to her, so make sure when your phone rings, you'll know it's me, because I let that phone ring 10 to 15 times to give her time to get to it, to answer it. And what she does is, it isn't that she can't get to the phone. She just basically, if she doesn't feel like it, she doesn't answer it. Well, too bad, so sad. That's her problem then. But I told her, I will call you on a regular basis, check in on you. I don't know when we're going to be able to get in to see you. I have a feeling this is going to be a while because they are very, very adamant that you're not getting into that place and spreading the disease. And it could wipe out the whole nursing home. Quite frankly, it could. In fact, the last time we went over, which was this past Tuesday, so just about a week ago, the receptionist she's usually sitting behind her desk, and we pass pleasantries and we sign in and who we're visiting, right? But that day she was in front of her desk, standing there with her bottle of hand sanitizer, and she was asking, had we been outside of the country? Had we come into contact with anybody with the virus? Are we feeling healthy? And we had to say yes or no, right? We said, well, yes, we're fine. And she was squirting hand sanitizer, making us use it. Now, they always have hand sanitizer at the nursing home, at all the doorways and on the receptionist counter and the whole bit. And we always use it. That's just regular practice in a nursing home. But this time she's making sure you're using it. And again, it's all for the benefit of the residents. And I'm totally supportive of that. I don't want my mother getting this. However, she said to me, there have been people come in there who have complained and basically bitched at her about doing this. And she has answered them and said, well, look, your loved ones are in here. Are you trying to kill them? Yeah. So I can't understand the mentality of people. And I guess my sister went on Thursday, 2 days later, and they were starting to do people's temperatures. They came in as well. And my sister said the same thing. There were people there complaining about having to have this done to get in. My sister says, what are they, crazy? Of course. This is all preventative. But it was on later in Thursday that they issued the email, and they've had several since then from the home administrator and from the CEO of the corporation that runs this home and several other facilities. They're not taking any chances, and I say bully for them and thank you for that, because they are protecting their residents. So who knows when the next time will be to get over and see my mother. And okay, if I'm really honest about this, I'm not that upset. Like, I kind of need a break in some ways from going over there every week. I mean, yeah, it's my mother. I can talk to her on the phone. I know that she's in a safe environment. She's in the best place she probably could be at this point in time, given her age, her situation, the whole bit. So I have complete confidence in the staff at the nursing home, in their ability to keep the residents safe. So that's fine. This thing will not last. It's not going to be over tomorrow or next week or maybe for a bit of time, but we just have to hang in there and be patient. Okay, so that's my mother. What else happened this past week? Well, I'm looking here. Nothing. No, nothing. I have a little bit of cabin fever, which, okay, really? I haven't been out since, when's the last time I went out? Thursday? Wow. Seems like a long time ago. Not really. Why haven't I gone out? Well, one, Walter hasn't been feeling 100%. Two, I didn't have any need to go out. And three, yeah, I'm not self-isolating because I don't have anything. But, I'm just thinking twice before I just go jaunting away where there's lots of people, like a shopping mall or something like that. I have a class tomorrow. It's the first class of the Lone Star, and I'm debating whether I should go or not. The decision could be made very easy for me if the store phoned up and said, we've decided to postpone that class. But they haven't. They did send out an email, and many businesses are doing this right now. They're sending out things talking about what precautions they're taking to avoid the spread of this virus, which is great. But they're businesses too. They mean their livelihood, so they kind of have to stay open as long as they can. Because it's their bread and butter too. So everybody's in a really hard place right now. We're playing the time game with our river cruise. We've paid them all the money. If we were, today's the last day, we could cancel to get back 65% of what we spent on it. That still means we've lost $10,000. But lately, all the cruise companies, the ocean cruise companies, have been canceling their cruises, have been giving people back full refunds and giving them, you know, extra incentive to rebook later down the line, the whole bit. And we kind of figure, we're hoping, that this river cruise company we're dealing with, they're a large company. Our cruise is scheduled for May the 17th, and right now I'm pretty much sure we're not going on that, given because it's in Europe and from Amsterdam to Budapest, and you know, Europe's now considered the epicenter for this disease. So Canada's already issued a thing, travel advisory, saying, you know, we recommend you do not leave the country, and all that kind of stuff. So I have a feeling that as we get closer to that particular date, that the river cruise will follow suit with the other cruise companies and, you know, offer us something that's basically not going to, well, wipe out, like make us lose $19,000. I hope. In the long run, worst case scenario, we'll have our health. Ooh, I'm fading here. The sun's coming through. Beams of light. Just see if I can adjust this a little bit. Sorry for the movement. Well, that's not so good. I don't know if you're seeing it, but I'm seeing it. Well, sorry if you're getting this. It's just the time of the year where the sunlight comes through. Okay, squirrel. Let's move back to what I was talking about. So we're hoping that, you know, we get our money back. If we don't, we'll just have to chalk it up to experience. In 10 years' time, it will not matter. Okay? It's the only way you can look at it. Okay? But I'm sure there'll be something. I don't think we're going to lose the entire amount. Okay, so yeah, that's about it for the week. Stephen and Walter Live this coming Sunday, we are going to do fun with tags. And I hope you'll enjoy that. We haven't done an art attack in a long time, so we're going to do that. And what that involves is, I don't know. I think we're going to get out the jelly plates and do some printing on tags and do some other mixed media things on them. And we'll see how that goes. And that might be fun. And I'm even playing with the idea that I'm really hoping right now that what I'm seeing, you're not seeing. Because this is really bad. Yeah, I think it's happening. I think it's affecting you too. Okay, just give me 1 second here. I'm going to try and... Okay, that's not very good. Okay, well, good thing it's almost the end of the video. Now I got to crouch down because I put that the other way. Okay. Long story short, we're doing an art attack to have some fun. I'm thinking of doing maybe some actual improv live things while I'm sewing or doing a craft. And if you happen to see me come up live, join me for that. I don't know. I might not. We'll see how that goes. Just to, you know, give us a break away from all this coronavirus thing. Okay. You keep safe, you keep clean, wash your hands, don't touch your face, stay home if you're sick, if you can, and please, think of other people's rear ends and leave them some toilet paper, okay? And we'll see you next week, and we'll see you for Stephen and Walter Live this coming Sunday. Have a good one. Bye-bye.